Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. This is Dr. Adam Rohr from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and you're listening to 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast.
We're doing a full intro?
No, we won't. But we will say, hi, my name is this, my name is that.
California.
Are you ready?
Maybe California, yeah.
Dude, you dropped your burrito.
I like that. As you were saying perfect, you totally would.
Just sawdust.
Great.
Hairball. Brush it off.
We don't have to periscope everything, guys.
Donovan taking the periscope over.
All right. Hey, guys, this is Ryan. And we've got Daniel Tyak here. Say hi.
Hey, I'm Daniel.
And we've got Bob Taylor here.
Hey, how's it going?
And we've got, what's your name, son?
Steve Rowe.
You're not Steve. This is Ariel.
Hi, Ariel from Dinosaur Ghost.
From Dinosaur Ghost. From my band.
Steve's not quite here yet.
I like that we just glossed over that Bob Taylor is sitting here, just hanging out with us, eating a burrito.
I'm eating a burrito.
Yeah, this is our 100th episode, so we're doing it up in style out here at Salvage. Yeah, everyone cheer!
You guys, I'm sitting next to Bob Taylor and he's eating a burrito.
It's just burritos with Bob.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
burritos
eat some more right now.
Yeah,
This is actually, it's not the 100th episode of 60 Cycle Hum, it's the first episode of Burritos with Bob.
It was like a two-handed burrito.
I like that. Yeah, we don't really have a plan tonight. Let's just kind of like go for it. We've got some ads. We're just gonna hang out. How many people are here? 2,
Someone
4,
just rolled
Let's
in.
see, 1, 2, okay, 10.
Who just rolled in?
10, 12.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Aaron.
Aaron's
Hi,
here.
Aaron.
Dude, we're good.
Aaron and a couple other guys.
Yeah, we got so many people here. Everyone say your name all at once. Okay, everyone's here. We're taking video. We're recording this. So what do we want to talk about? Oh, you want to? We're sponsored by a guy who's here in the room, but he doesn't want to talk about it. He wants Daniel to read it.
I'm going to read the ad because
Okay.
I claimed to read the ad because I've actually had guitars repaired by Sean.
Oh,
Sean Hutchinson. Maybe I should just read his thing.
yeah, you probably should.
Radio voice. This episode is brought to you by Hutchinson's Guitar Repair, serving the diverse community of musicians and artists in San Diego, California. Hutchinson's Guitar Repair exists to provide a place for quality stringed instrument repair, all sorts of other crap, and Sean's awesome. So let me just not read this and tell you about Sean.
Tell us about
So
Sean.
Sean
Daniel.
is a very talented and very bearded fellow here in San Diego.
Uh-huh.
He runs a very cool little shop. He does guitar repair on any kind of stringed instrument. He has affordable prices, and he will take care of you in a heartbeat. Right, Sean? Yeah?
Yes.
We're
And
getting
he's a great dude. He worked on a funky old, I don't even remember what that guitar was. Custom craft, weird little one pickup job that had like a bridge that somebody had basically destroyed trying to mod it. And
Who's Custom Craft?
it's just some off-brand like 60s funky thing. And
like
he
some
did.
kind of like Japanese guitar.
He rebuilt the bridge for me. He shaped a nice new little wood bridge for me and did a whole bunch of setup. And it went from a, air quotes, slide guitar to a actual player. And I've used it in live performances, and it's been great. And Sean's an awesome dude.
Nice.
Look him up on Facebook, Hutchinson's Guitar Repair.
I mean, he's local here in San Diego, but if you've got something really crazy, I'm sure you could ship it to him.
Do you have cards?
Oh, hand cards to the microphone.
Hand
right
cards,
now.
yeah. Give all the listeners a business card.
Okay,
I would like one, though.
Everybody
before the
reach
day's
into
through.
your DVD drives.
Yeah, there's
Pull
a
out
card
Sean's
waiting
card.
for you. If it's not there, check behind your modem. It's there. Open up your phone case.
Everybody, right now, do it.
So 100 episodes, pretty crazy,
Yeah,
huh?
you guys have been killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too bad your partner in crime isn't here to celebrate that.
I know, right?
Poor Steve.
He's on his way here from work, so he said to start without him, which is totally fine.
Steve worked.
Shows
Steve
where his
didn't make
priorities
it.
Steve
are.
worked so hard for this.
Does Steve drive a
Oh,
Corolla?
you're-
Steve just rolled up, guys.
Steve is here.
Hey,
One look.
everybody, just give
But this-
a clap for him.
This
my
is
job.
This is something that we joked about when we. He's not even in here yet. I keep turning my head to look for him. Steve's not in here. Stop it, Cassidy.
We just stare at him when he comes
Knock it
in.
off. Yeah, this is
The burrito's good.
Good looking burrito.
got-
this is the
cheese
most
and
disjointed
taters.
episode
Are
we've
all
ever
the
done.
burritos identical, or did you get a variety of burritos?
I actually got Bob a very special burrito.
Uh-oh.
The Bob
I
burrito.
know that Bob wanted a burrito.
Ask his her.
So I got him a California
There it goes.
Who doesn't want a burrito?
I'll take care of it later. Thank you.
I'm gonna eat a burrito
As soon as Steve
someday.
kicks you off his mic.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
fair.
guys keep saying he's here, and I don't see him. Yeah, it's
There's some people that don't have burritos where they live.
This is true.
Did you know that?
Canada? Does Canada have?
And if they do
does
have a
Canada
burrito,
it's not good.
That
it's
made me
not
s-
really good.
Hold on, before we
that
talk
made me
about
sad when you said that. Like,
I know it.
my heart hurt
Went out
a
to
little
the
bit.
people?
It felt like we were going to
Should we
launch into
send,
like a PSA
should we send
video.
a burrito to a soldier
let's-
in Afghanistan or
If
something?
I were a soldier, I'd want
let's
a burrito.
keep it
Yeah,
on
no
topic
kidding.
here. And Bob, you've done a lot
On
of traveling.
topic. What topic have we been on?
Burritos. We're
Oh,
talking
okay.
burritos here.
Okay.
Jeez. Bob, you've done a lot of traveling all over the world, and you love the Mexican food.
That almost sounded
How
racist.
I
far away from the border until it starts to degrade?
By the mile. It happens by the mile.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Mhm.
What
It
would you
really
say?
does.
50 miles? 10 miles? 100 miles?
I'm going to say by the time you reach Camp Pendleton and go beyond, it's a totally different thing.
Okay.
Oh,
See,
totally.
this is okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay, we
I've
started
had
to
this
clap.
debate with so many people, and they're like, "No, we got great burritos here in Oregon." And it's like,
No.
you don't. You don't
There's
have.
pockets here and there.
Okay,
Yeah.
Steve's here.
Dude,
I'm leaving
guys.
Baba Booey.
Who's here right
I
now?
walk into the room. What is this? A geography podcast? No,
It's a burrito
Burritos.
podcast.
Steve's
Burritos.
here.
burritos, geography. Whatever.
Steve, shake hands with Bob Taylor.
Oh yeah, Steve.
Hey, Bob, how's it going?
Good. It's going good.
You just drove an hour. I'm gonna go hit the head.
Okay.
Steve's already taking a bathroom break.
It's already a classic episode.
Take the camera in there, Adam. This is good.
Take your time. I'm back.
Dude, we were in Africa a couple of weeks ago, and we had a carne asada cookout. We took masa flour, tortilla press, made our own tortillas right there. Full on taco man. What?
Was it goat instead of?
No, it was beef. We marinated it just like you do. We had the freeze-dried Mexican refried beans. You just add water. They're like real Mexican
Solid. Okay.
refried. It was awesome. Got the cilantro, the whole thing.
How did the locals like it?
They looked at it pretty suspiciously, especially the beans, because African food is not the same as our food.
Right.
No, it's not the same.
But your crew was feeling right at home.
Yeah, and actually the locals that helped us, they were looking down at the refried beans, and they're like, oh, man. And they like take like this little spot on their tongue, and like, okay, all right. And they
No,
kept
I
eating
can
them.
get behind
yeah,
this.
So tacos, little carne asada street tacos. It was awesome.
Dude, that's
right there in
pretty
the middle of Africa.
What
do
were you
think of
doing
that?
in Africa?
Cutting ebony. We have a sawmill there.
Nice.
Now, you
We
were
were
like,
working.
You were in the middle of Africa. Your ebony factory is not anywhere close to anything.
It's in a big frickin' city.
Oh,
4
wait.
million people.
Where they pull it in though, or where they harvest it.
Well, the city's in the middle of the forest. Of
Okay,
course.
yeah, okay.
It's
okay.
the ebony
Carved
factory.
out spot. But yeah,
right
we're in
next
a.
to the
But
ivory
the city
factory.
is not a city like you've ever seen. You've never seen a city like
Well,
that.
I've only seen cities with burritos. So
and roads and sewer.
Daniel refuses.
Electricity that works.
Like when he goes to the travel
Toilets.
agency, is like, are there burritos there? no.
I plan
never,
all my vacations based around burritos.
Never mind,
You know.
I'm not
Dude, we
going.
have a cook at our house. Her name's Magdalene. She's African, but she makes totally legit flour tortillas.
Dude, that's awesome.
How does that happen?
That's good right there.
All right, I gotta go.
Dude, Steve! My
Take your
work
time,
here is
Steve.
done.
Let's pull an ad up.
Yeah, we gotta pull an ad. Steve's gonna be with us in a moment, guys. We actually printed up ads today.
Yeah.
Note
Usually we
that-
do it off the
That
Google
Martin
Drive.
looks really pretty, but I haven't read the ad yet.
Yeah, maybe we should do the Martin since we got Bob here.
Since
I
we
don't
got-
know how long you can hang out, Bob.
So I can't handle it anymore.
Okay, we got 5 minutes.
All right.
Okay, Steve's back.
All right,
Steve's
Steve,
back.
come jump on this ad.
Yes, Steve.
Let me look up who sent this in, so we can. Does it say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Luke Monday sent this in. I did a call out for ads on the Facebook today. Well, which was
What are
2
we doing
weeks
with
ago.
these ads? We just discussing them?
Yeah, we just discuss them and
Try
come to an
Make
opinion.
mincemeat out of them?
Yeah,
Take 'em off.
basically.
It's a season.
Usually they're like, this is usually most of the ads border on insanity. So there's something wrong with them. Sometimes we'll find an ad. It's like, okay, this is really cool, and we think everyone should buy this. I think this one's interesting because it proposes an interesting kind of thing where you buy this guitar
Fix it.
for cheap, and then if you spend a normal amount of money fixing it, then you've got a really good deal on it.
You should read the ad, Ryan.
Okay,
Let
I'll
everyone
read.
know what we're looking at here.
I'll read the ad. We've got a 1977 Martin D12 35 for $1,000 in Fresno. So you got to go to Fresno, which ruins your day right there.
Whoa, Sam's in
Which
Fresno.
body part of California is Fresno?
Kind of the
That's the armpit, right?
It's the armpit?
Yeah.
no, yeah.
Bakersfield's like the crotch of California, right?
Right. Well, if Bakersfield... Okay, I don't want to get into this. All right. So the description says...
You guys know how to make fans, don't you?
Yeah.
We actually have a huge group of fans in the Fresno area.
Yeah, we get pretty salty.
So this was probably sent by one of them.
Yeah.
Nursing students.
We get very anatomical.
What does that even mean?
Forget it.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice 1977 Martin D12 35 12 string. Body is in excellent condition with a little finish checking. Seen at an angle, you'd be impressed for its age. The neck has a little
Seen
bow.
at an angle?
Yeah. The neck has a little bow. Will need to be steamed. For a little investment, you can have a guitar worth around $2,500. They're making this model again. List is $5,900. Sells for $4,650. Great investment for the right player. Check out the pictures. $1,000 or best offer. I don't know anything really about repairing acoustic guitars. We usually talk mostly about electrics.
And pedals and amps.
And stuff. I have acoustics, but I've never repaired them besides like replacing a bridge sort of thing or replacing a nut. So I don't know, like what is a normal rate for steaming a neck, and what does that even entail?
Well, see, the problem is you don't really even know what he means.
Yeah, I don't.
Steaming a neck.
I have no idea.
Does this neck need to come off, or is it bowed? He says it's. Did he say it's bowed?
Yeah.
It's just a little bow.
Just a little bow.
Just a little bow.
Sounds
Yeah,
cute.
you can't really steam that little bow out. You can kind of heat it up, bend it backwards. There's no truss rod in this guitar, right? So you can't take a bow out. You have to kind of steam the bow out.
Yeah.
Is the neck angle good? Then you have to take that neck off, steam out the dovetail. That's what you do. Yeah. $500, $600, $700. That's all. So now you're up to $1,700.
Yeah. So you're kind of
Well, you can find someone who doesn't know how to do it.
If it
and pay less.
How much would you charge, Sean?
I don't know if I'd tackle that one.
Sean would be like,
Would you charge less?
it's cool.
I'd be at $500.
So, okay, so you're gonna
So I said
For a neck
$500.
reset. Just
Yeah.
for a neck reset.
just for a neck reset. Okay, so you're not one of the guys who's gonna undercut Bob and do a bad job.
Fight.
Now,
Oh,
if I knew someone with a jacuzzi, would that work?
Just put it under the lid for an hour.
Yeah. Just put it
Well, you
on
have
like
to
one of
you have
those
to go to-
floating beds.
You definitely have to go to the swap meet and buy an old espresso maker
Yeah.
because you got to have the surgical tube coming out
Oh, okay.
and the steam needle, and you got to take out the fret and drill some little holes through the fret slots. Then you got to stick that thing down there and soften up all the glue, and then have a thing to pull it out. So
I was
You
just
know,
gonna
it
hang it up in
takes-
the shower for an hour.
it takes investment. Is that what you use, Sean? Like
Oh,
a
yeah. So fuel line with the bike pump needle,
Oh, really?
then you gotta wrestle that thing off.
yeah.
Well, we probably can't hear on the mic what Sean is saying. He's saying that you use like a bike pump needle and a fuel line.
An elaborate system of hoses and small monkeys.
Yeah, the monkeys like run the pump and throw coal in the furnace.
That's basically what these guys do when they build acoustic guitars.
Yeah. There's
That's
a lot of monkeys.
That's
and-
pretty much
and
what,
coal
right, Bob?
involved.
Just monkeys and bike pumps.
That's what I do. I don't know about the other guys.
So, what do you guys think? You think it's worth? Is this worth looking at? Like, if someone was in the market for a 12-string Martin,
It's a crapshoot though, because you don't actually know what you're gonna get.
yeah, even
know
if
what
you
I mean?
fix that issue, are there going to be other issues? You know,
It's worth $1,000
you think so? That's
or $800.
or 800. I'm going to go with
Probably
your
not
800.
$1,200. I'd probably try and make a better deal on it. You know, you can't really compare it to a new one because the new one's just plain old better.
Right.
It's made in the 70s.
We're set.
It'd be a different thing if it was made in the 40s.
Right,
Then
totally.
you could add some zeros.
Totally. Well, you pick this up and then you just wait 30 years and then you're there, right?
That's what Ryan does. That's what Ryan does with his DoD collection.
Yeah. I'm collecting.
He's just waiting
But I
30
like
years.
because I buy Land Cruisers on Craigslist, and it's like I like it when the guy tells you all the things that you should do to make it worth more money. I mean, I'm not really into that marketing. Buy this for cheap, and if you do this, it'll be worth this much money.
Why didn't you do that?
Yeah,
then?
why didn't you do that?
Exactly.
Because
I'm
he's
going to
sick of
teach a
dealing
class
with
on
it.
how you can make money in real estate. Why don't you make money in real estate?
I'd love to hear one of those commercials on the radio for Land Rovers. Like, take my class to learn how to make money flipping Land Rovers.
Oh my God!
Exactly.
No money in that.
All right.
I think this one's better off just being $1,000 guitar, and you leave it $1,000 guitar.
Slide. It's a slide guitar.
Yeah, we
slide
we
guitar.
have the joke that anytime like a guitar is like the neck is mangled or unplayable in some way, it's a slide guitar now. Just
Perfect.
throw a big nut on there and it's a slide guitar.
Slide guitar. Wait, shouldn't we crumple these up?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, make all that extra mic noise. Awesome.
Make be like radio guys.
Good job, Dan. Great idea.
Should I keep crumpling?
Sure, why not?
All right, give me a second, guys.
Just
Just
crumple.
hold on. Just
Look
hold
at all
on.
these electric guitar ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Okay.
There's a boat ad.
Yeah, let's
Do we want to go straight to the boat?
go straight to the boat.
All right, Bob.
Bob wants to
Bob's
talk about the boat.
Bob
Let's
called
talk
the
about the
boat.
boat.
Bob's actually thinking about going. He's thinking about pulling the trigger on this one.
I saw him pocket down the number.
What I'm looking at is a $1,750 boat. Read the ad.
Yeah, read the ads.
we need
Okay, I'll
that.
read this ad
Yeah,
here.
you read it.
Trade my ski boat for a Gibson mandolin. Nashville. Hey, everybody in Nashville, this is your time to get a ski boat for your Gibson mandolin.
Wait
got all
on
those-
yonder on the Chattahoochee, huh?
You got all those mandolins laying around. Time to cash it in for that ski boat.
Exactly. I'll trade my 16-foot Glasper sea boat, trailer, and Johnson 115 horsepower outboard motor for musical equipment as I need my garage space back. Consider Gibson, Fender, Rickenbacker, Ampeg, custom mandolin, guitars, amp spaces, PA cabinets, whatever you have in the closet and you do not use. This boat has 423 hours on it, $1,750 cash as is. Now, I've done some boat stuff with some friends and done some fixing up boats, and actually a friend has an 18-foot older Glasper.
How do you figure out the value of a ski boat? Is it by the pound or by the foot?
It's a ratio,
Okay.
pound to foot. I'd say the 115 horsepower Johnson motor is probably the most valuable thing on this boat, judging by the pictures, if it's running. But
It looks like an older boat.
That seems like a horrible idea.
You know, if you got an older boat, then you got to trade it for an older mandolin, right?
Right.
I
Isn't that
can't
how
really
it
tell
works?
though because it is a boat. Don't you think 1750 isn't all that much for like a boat and a motor?
Man, somebody's trying to dump a boat like
For a mandolin.
for a mandolin or for PA speakers or bass amps or whatever they want. They're just
He's
like
going for the second best day of a boat owner's life, right?
that's when they sell them.
Yeah,
or
first day's when
they
you buy
trade
it.
for some junk PA gear.
I like how specific he is with Gibson. Okay, you figure like an average Gibson guitar is like $1,200 to $1,500 for like middle of the road Gibson. Fender, whatever. Like you get some ideas there, and then it gets down to custom. Is there anything that custom ever made that's worth more than $400?
No. Maybe.
What about those big tuck and roll things? Like
the old school
Those ones
customs?
are like
Yeah.
maybe pushing 500.
really
There
those
might
tall
be,
ones?
There might be a few rare ones.
I bet if
that
there's
go
one
for a
in
little
really
You
more.
went down to the
good
furniture
condition.
consignment store. Could you find one?
You could probably find one. They get confused with an old vinyl
I
couch.
think though, if you're going to get one of those tuck and roll customs, you got to keep the boat and then you put it on the boat as your seat.
It's perfect.
Because it's got that look.
It's cushy.
Yeah, it's cushy.
Yeah, the back row.
You put it down underneath and you can lay down on it.
You can play music while you're out
Why
skiing.
do I laugh when I read the word Johnson?
Because you're a dude.
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you in part by Chase Bliss Audio. They take original and creative analog circuits and give them outrageous digital control. In addition, Joel Corte, the owner of Chase Bliss Audio, would like to add that he thinks Ryan and Steve are physically attractive. That's all.
Because you're a dude. Hold on, Ryan. Wait, we better not say it. We had a customer with the best
just a motor.
name
It's
ever.
115 horsepower, Johnson.
Hey man, I got 100. No, mine's like 100. Just the last name, Ryan. What was the last name again? Cockram. We had a customer with the last name Cockram, and
He's going to hear this.
It doesn't even matter. We couldn't deal. We couldn't even deal.
He's going to cancel his order.
So
when he
anyway,
hears
guys,
this.
Nashville listeners,
His order was already late anyway.
You got a great deal here on a
It's
sketchy
definitely
boat.
on a lake. I see the little map.
Yep, there's definitely by
Or
a
is that
lake
a
or
river?
a eddy or something.
If you live on the other side, it'll be really easy to transport it. You
True.
just get in the boat and motor across.
So if you have any old junk in your music department and you want a junky old boat with a Johnson on it,
It's over there by Old Hickory Road.
you're there.
Yeah, if you're on Old Hickory Road, this is your neighbor.
Old Hickory Road's pretty
Yeah,
long.
you lived in Nashville for a little while. Old Hickory Road.
They got mandolins everywhere.
Everywhere. Cassidy says there's mandolins everywhere on
we've-
Old Hickory Road.
I think we've beat this boat
I
out
think
to
you
death.
should get like a little Greek mandolin with a round back or.
I wanted to
those
make
are
like
fun.
5 or 6 really lame Lonely Island jokes because I'm still living in like 2010 or whatever.
because you're on a boat.
Yeah, like how much does it cost to get T-Pain on this boat, or can I watch dolphins doing flips and whatever? And
Instead of jumping onto another ad, let's hit a topic or something. Let's talk about how rad it was to go out to Taylor. What was that, like a month and a half ago?
Yeah, it was a little bit ago. Well, Bob was off cutting ebony in the forest for a month or so here. So it must
No,
have
I'm
been,
working in the factory in the city.
must have been a month and a half ago. Oh yeah, factory in the city. It was a month and a half ago, right?
Something like that.
When? Was
You
that
were
a
gone
August
for you
thing?
were gone for almost a month.
Yeah.
Was that September when you came?
I don't remember.
So you had us out and you did this whole like builder summit where all these guys came from around the country and you gave them all your secrets and you lifted up the curtain and you showed them how the gobstoppers are made and all that stuff. And you were just super generous and you fed us all and gave us all drinks and took us and showed your
Tacos.
showed us your Land Rovers. I'm wondering what are your thoughts on that day? What did you get out of it?
Oh, that was cool. I thought I saw a lot of talent in the room, a lot of sincere people. It reminded me of my group of dudes that we all started our companies together in our 20s, and we'd get together. You get together to share ideas, which is another way of saying you get together to brag about the latest thing you thought of. And we get together and talk about guitars, and we walk down the aisles of these trade shows going, wow, look at that booth. Maybe one day we'll have a booth like that. And we all grow up and we do have a booth like that because we're the industry now. And so I saw a lot of great talent, people doing really neat things. And a lot of artistry, a lot of sincerity, great guys, cool products, really well made. So I think we were just there for people to kind of, what's the next step? How do I get over this hump of going from, garage to I'm making some money and doing that kind of thing. For all you listeners out there, just because you buy something doesn't mean the guy who sold it to you is making money. Most of these things that are really cool, someone's doing it because they love. Let's talk about this. Do you make the stuff because somebody wants it, or do you make the stuff because you want to make it?
Right.
Yeah, I hear that. Mm-hmm. Bob, I know your story a little bit. What was your? Well, I read your book and did all that stuff, and kind of got the background of the story. What, for everyone that hasn't been listening, how many years did you go as a young man, like having a dream of building guitars and knowing you wanted to be a guitar builder before you actually even took a check home from the company?
5 years, I guess.
And
4 years, 5 years.
And what were you paying yourself a week at that point?
$15.
$15 a week. You guys can all go be a guitar builder in 5
Be
years.
your own boss. Set your own hours.
Congratulations, Steve. We're making more on the podcast than
Bob Taylor, man.
Bob Taylor made.
Are we making 15 bucks?
People think I'm kidding,
Yeah,
but
we're doing
I'm
better
not.
than that.
Yeah, no, it's
That's
true.
what we
And
pay
then it
ourselves.
was 16 or so years before you were, or
I
10 years.
think it was around 12 years before we started making a little bit of a paycheck to get things going.
Yeah.
So we started in 74, right? So maybe by, 86? I was making $300 a week or something like that.
Something like that.
It was enough to pay some expenses. I was married by then. Had a wife, had a job. She was a teacher. But you gotta go back to those dollars, because when she started working, she graduated, started working for the school systems, and her first year paycheck was $9,500.
Wow.
That was a professional job in those days. So
Yeah. And
the,
if you're
the dollars are different now.
Yeah. If you're a teacher now, you can make upwards of $1,100, $1,200.
I mean, we spent $9,500 on burritos alone tonight.
We got a lot of burritos here.
There used to be a 29-cent hamburger place out there on Casa de Oro.
Oh,
man.
We go buy those by the bags.
That would get me in a lot of trouble.
Man, they were
Really quick.
awesome. Like we'll have 40 29-cent hamburgers, please. Is there anything else? No, just the 29-cent hamburger. French fries are too
No drinks,
much.
no fries, no shakes.
No drinks, no nothing.
No chicken nuggets, nothing.
Yep.
I like that.
Well, that's what you eat when you make $15 a week, right?
Tomato soup, 17 cents a can.
Bonus.
Dip your hamburger in it.
You guys should definitely do a 17-cent tomato soup week where you don't eat any or drink anything cool. And
we just slurp tomato soup.
You just slurp tomato soup on the
Campbell's
podcast.
still one of my favorites.
There you go, dude.
Yeah.
Some nostalgia.
That's the standard.
If you didn't hear it, RL says if you want to eat like that, you come over to his house.
Yeah.
He's our local our musician friend who is a professional musician, and we all know how much.
So, Daniel, how many more of my friends are you going to hire?
I have actually, dude. We didn't even say anything. We're at Salvage Custom Shop tonight. I'm hosting the 100th episode. I'm stoked to see how far you guys have come. I want to, dude. A round of applause.
Okay, slow clap. Here we go. Thanks, Cassidy.
You guys, Cassidy started that one out there.
Yeah.
You guys have definitely been working hard on hustling this, and I've been impressed to see how dedicated you've been to actually putting an episode out pretty much every single week.
I don't think we've ever missed, have we?
I mean, I'm going to say no, but sometimes I feel like, when a podcast puts out like a best of episode, it's kind of cheating. I know there's editing time on that.
You
but
did do a best of episode.
We did do one best of episode, which is the same number that some other podcasts have done that have been running a lot less.
I've spent
shorter
more time.
I don't speak English.
That's Ryan's job to not be able to speak.
Oh, man.
Steve just came right out of his car, right out of rush hour traffic, and got straight on the mic. So I don't blame you for being flustered.
It's hard getting here this time of night if you're coming from down there. You never know, especially on Friday.
It took me a little over an hour.
He came out of Sereno Valley.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Patrick's over here, our accountant here at Salvage, and he got stuck in traffic on the 52 for an hour getting over here. What is this, a geography podcast?
It took me almost 45 minutes just to get to the 52.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. I'm doing a lot
straight
here,
down Miramar to the 15.
You go straight down
all right,
Miramar.
guys. So here's the deal. I cruised down to Miramar, headed east to the 15. Took the 15 south to the 52 east. Took it all the way to Cuyamaca, and now I'm here.
I don't have the
Hey,
energy
you guys
want
to hear a tangential, totally thing that is total trivia?
That is,
of course,
everything this podcast is about.
So when I was young, I'm 60 now.
I mean, anything
Lord
to give me
almighty.
time to finish.
Can we make
this
some
burrito.
dinosaur jokes, or are we leaving those off the
You
table?
can make dinosaur jokes. Bob can take it, man.
In LA, they used to call the freeways, they put the word "the" in front of them. But we didn't do it in San Diego.
Oh.
We never said the 805, the 52, like you just said.
Oh, man.
And I remembered being like in my 20s going, I wonder how long, like actually having this thought, because I would think these things, I wonder how long it's going to take before the word "the" creeps all the way down to San Diego and we're totally, completely polluted by the way they speak in LA.
Hey, bro, it's the 15.
We never said the 805, the 52, the 5, the 8. We never said that.
So when did that change?
We would say Interstate 8, Highway 52. It slowly changed a little bit at a time. Reporters would fly their helicopters, get a job up there, and then they would come down here and get on the news. I'm flying over the 52, you know. And now you can't even say the name of a freeway without.
I didn't even know there were interstates or freeways. I just thought there were thes.
Yeah.
You think that's going to be on the signs?
I mean, I think Shakespeare would be impressed at the changing of the language.
This is true. If it's any consolation to you, I usually refer to you as the Bob when I'm not talking to you directly. So
what I want to know is, do you really need to put the word "the" in front of Johnson?
If you want to make people laugh, you
The
do.
Johnson.
It's a ski boat with
115.
the Johnson. Hold on, guys. I'm going to take a bite of the burrito.
I've been doing that
I'll
the
do
whole
it at the
time.
same time.
I'm sure this just sounds awful. I knew this wasn't going to be like the most on point episode, but I just thought it would be a lot of fun to get everyone together have a big noisy episode with everyone in a room. Make sure my computer's charging.
That's a good plan.
The plug came undone.
Hey, and on the note of celebrating your 100th episode, our friend Cassidy here, who was honestly probably a friend of you guys first before me.
Probably.
I knew his wife before he knew his wife, though, so there's that. It evens out.
I knew him before he knew his wife.
But Cassidy made you guys a little something to celebrate the 100th episode of 60 Cycle Hum. He's gonna find that in the room. In the break room.
It'll be a while. I'm going downstairs.
Which consists of a very small closet with a coffee maker and a microwave and a very small fridge.
Don't be modest. He just got in the elevator. He's got to go down.
He's going into the salvage elevator.
He's got to go down 4 floors.
He's in the salvage cellar right
guys,
now.
the reality is,
There's cubbies in there.
Is that the reason Daniel hasn't made any money with salvage is because he spends it all on this 100,000 square foot facility that's actually mostly empty, but rent is high.
Dude, the zip line's sweet though.
The zip line is sweet.
I really like the new
whoa,
water slide. The
whoa.
old water slide wasn't as good.
Here it is, dudes.
Oh, no way!
Your very own
No.
Cassidy signature series beer
I
caddy.
thought it was the beer. It's the box.
And note
That's
the
rad.
bottle opener on the end of the handle.
Cassidy is a pinstriper. He's pinstriped it. This thing is awesome.
Dude, note the live
I
oak.
like
I
the
wanna hold
live
this.
edge
The live
on
edge
that,
there.
man.
And with real beer.
It's got real beer in it.
No, it's all mock.
It's fake beer.
It's just full of resin.
That's awesome.
Like
Thanks,
the
Cassidy.
striping, Cassidy.
Those should actually probably still be cold, so we should break some of those open. Are they still cold?
Yeah, they're still cold.
Cold enough.
I'm going to drink one.
High altitude here in El Cajon. That's like 3 feet above sea level.
That striping's
It's
awesome.
got a bottle
there's
opener on it.
like a beer opener right on it.
Dude, check that out.
That's
Open one of those in the
lovely.
mic.
Okay.
So Cassidy here did a steel handle that goes through the top of this little hardwood beer caddy that has a bottle opener built into the end.
Ooh, I heard the.
yeah,
That's
there
good,
you go.
dude.
That's rad, dude.
Try one of those. What do I want? I kind of
So
want to try that.
sometimes our listeners send us beer in the mail, which may or not be legal, but we we get beer in the mail, and we've gotten glasses and stuff too. Every time we get it, we're just so appreciative, and I know that now that we have this, every single time we get beer on the show, whether we need it or not, it's going to go in this and be like next to us when we're podcasting.
It's the podcast caddy, dude. We'll have to. Yeah,
It's a really cool caddy.
Somebody better
you even
Instagram
did
that.
like the work to make the separators in there. They're not all just sitting in there.
No.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So this is like a little. It's the shape of a. It's like a wooden version of a cardboard one. It's
Yeah.
got the little pointed roof lines on the ends.
It's a 6-pack.
It's a total 6-pack. What's cool about it is that the sides are made out of California live oak with all this medullary silk on it, and then it's got the bark on the top, so it
Yeah.
looks like it came straight from Country Bear Jamboree or something.
I like it.
There
I like
was
that you knew.
blood
I like
on
that
the
you knew
side.
exactly what wood
Oh,
it
it
was.
is.
Some, it's
It's
some
like
zebra
a
wood on the
straight
bottom.
up kickstand.
Oh, is
so
that
you
zebra
can-
wood down there?
Zebra wood on the bottom.
Zebra wood on the
This
bottom.
suddenly feels like that scene in Wayne's World where they meet Alice Cooper. Well, Milwaukee, you see.
Okay.
Milwaukee.
That's really cool. I'm stoked.
Dude,
Thanks,
well,
guys.
congrats
Thanks,
again on
Cassidy.
your 100th episode, dude.
Yeah.
You've been working hard, so.
Yeah, I was trying to say earlier before Steve got here, this is the thing that we joked about like on the 10th episode or something like that. Like, oh, someday we'll have 100 episodes.
And everybody was like,
we'll probably
idiots.
quit before
We'll never
then.
make it.
What a chore. We'll never make it. And here we are.
Here you are,
It was
dude.
actually really, really crazy because I was talking to one of my coworkers today about the podcast, and I found out she listens to like just the standard NPR lineup and whatever for podcasting. And she's like, yeah, so do people like, it's a small time thing. Like, do people listen to your podcast? And I was like, we actually have somewhere between like 1,700 and 2,000 listeners.
Yeah.
Like
if we estimate.
Every episode, like I think our highest episodes are all like up in the 1,800 episode or listen range, which
Well,
is kind of crazy.
we don't get
for
numbers-
A couple schmucks starting from zero, like literally zero.
We don't get
listeners.
numbers for how many subscribers we have, but we are close to 11,000 listens a month right now.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got a pretty great Facebook group. Everyone's like super active and engaged and like really
chill.
nice and fun. And
And in the last like couple months, we suddenly like picked up a ton of small builders in the group that are like
Well, we've always had small builders.
We've had some, but I mean, now it's like, oh, you got a question about how to like put a shim a neck on an electric guitar. Here's 3 custom shop electric guitar builders to answer that question.
Yeah,
for you.
totally.
People have been sending you goodies to demo. I mean,
yeah.
Bob's gonna send you his ski boat with the Johnson to demo. He's gonna
I can't
trade
wait to
it.
do a video demo of Bob's the Johnson.
Bob Johnson.
No, Bob's the Johnson.
Yeah, well, a lot of this stuff, I mean, we're just sitting around here talking about ourselves, which might be boring to some people. But if you're listening to the show, you probably appreciate the 100th episode. A lot of this stuff, came from you, Daniel. You pushing us to do certain things and lining us up with certain people. We probably never would have started doing demo videos if you hadn't, nudged us in that direction.
Dude, that was just a quick. Yeah, it was good. That was like a quick little thing, and then it just happened, and all of a sudden, you guys did a rad job at making awesome demo video. And Adam over here, who's hiding behind a camera and doesn't have a mic, has been helping film and.
Adam is like the unknown third member of the podcast. That's a penis joke.
Adam just made a penis joke.
I just remember the first time we recorded over here, you're like, I'm going to put this on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Oh my gosh.
And I was
like, we don't have an
we don't
Instagram.
have, why would we have an Instagram? He's like, dude, you need an Instagram.
So Daniel grabbed Steve's phone, signed us up for an Instagram, and instantly got us 400 or 500 followers.
This is what I do, huh?
Same night.
Yeah, because
amazing.
the ski boats.
Pretty incredible. Well, you've got 30,000, or you had 30,000.
We got a lot. We got a pretty solid. We got a solid following.
Now, if everyone who follows your Instagram page would subscribe to our YouTube page
and just send
we
money,
could end our flipping JHS pedals, Keeley pedals, steak and eggs contest tomorrow.
Is that still going?
Yeah,
how many more subscribers do you have?
We need about
500 more.
About 550 more, I think.
Something like that.
That's good.
We'll call it 600.
When you get
Let's round up.
150,000 the subscribers, Bob's going to give you a guitar to give away.
150,000?
150,000 subscribers.
He's making promises.
He's nodding. Look, he's nodding.
He's got a concerned look on his face.
He's definitely concerned.
That's why I make guitars of all price ranges.
He's going to give us a guitar to give away. It's going to be it's a GS Mini. Dude, hey, which is a fantastic little guitar.
I have nothing against the GS Mini, man.
man.
That thing is fantastic.
Yeah, totally. I'd take another Baby Taylor. I love my Baby Taylor. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I bought my girlfriend a Baby Taylor because I fear, or a Big Baby because I fear I'm probably going to marry this lady someday.
And then what happened?
And I want a Big Baby Taylor.
Dude, you better shake Bob's hand there. He got you a wife
Ooh,
there.
a wife.
There you go, Steve.
And
we knew that was completely a hopeless cause before that. Jeez.
There's no way Steve's going to get married. He bought her a Big Baby? Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, it's the Taylor? Oh.
Oh, man. So where do we go from here?
Dude, I don't
My
know.
mind's blank all of a sudden.
We're done.
Did you already ask the questions that people actually wanted us to ask Bob? Or
I don't know. You want to pull those up? Did we have?
I have an iPhone 4. It's going to take me half an hour.
Did we have a bunch of questions?
We had one question in the inner circle, which you can join by pledging $10 a month to 60 Cycle Hum on our Podbean.
I had notes and I forgot them at home. We had someone
Way to
who
go.
went from the $5 to $10 that we need to
Yeah,
mention.
that was Kevin Triplett.
Was it Kevin Triplett?
I believe so.
Wow, that's
and
awesome.
also Ken Michael pledged us his entire year subscription.
That's right.
Over PayPal gift, so 0 fees. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ken Michael. And he did this after he bought a shirt outright.
Yeah, so we owe him another shirt so he can have two.
He said he doesn't want it. He says he just wants to be customer.
We need to send him another shirt.
He told me not to. He said he wants to be recipient number 1 on the next swag giveaway.
Okay. We'll do it.
We got questions. Did anybody else
just
make
send him the
questions
slam
for
pump?
Questions for the Bob?
Yeah, I've got one question here from Jonathan Diaz. I haven't even read it yet, so I'm going to read this and learn about it as you hear it.
It's the Jonathan Diaz.
The Jonathan Diaz. Can you ask Bob, if logistics were not an issue and you were not bound by today's technology, thinking in the future, what would you love to see in an acoustic guitar? I want to see where his imagination would go. You don't have to. I'd just like to hear him talk about it for a second. So you can. He's saying that you don't have to answer that if you don't want, but
Yeah, I don't really feel like answering that.
Yeah. I don't think you should. I think it sounds too personal.
I think one of the hardest things to do on acoustic guitar that logistics gets in the way of, that the physics gets in the way of, is amplify it. We work and work and work and work to make the next, level of pickups. And we've gotten pretty far down the road. I think we're making probably the finest acoustic pickup right now. But it's really hard to do. So if I could snap my fingers and just wish something into being, I'd make a. But the problem with pickups is it's kind of like people say, well, I want my guitar to sound like an acoustic guitar, but they really don't. It's kind of like photography.
Right.
I just want that picture to look like what I saw. No, you just really, or like real.
Right.
But you really want it to look better than real,
Totally.
don't you? That's why we edit pictures.
Yeah,
Because you want it to look better than real.
Exactly.
And you want your guitar to sound better than a guitar.
Right.
So you're making guitars that sound better than guitars, is what you're trying to say, Bob.
Yeah, when you plug it in. Sounds good when a guy tacks it hard. Sounds good when a guy tacks it soft.
It seems like this is the sort of thing where you can't really design for that because everyone has a different preference for what they want out of that sound, And so much of acoustic is how good it feels when you're playing it. And it's kind of like how when you talk, you hear your voice through the bones in your head and everything else, and you hear a recording, and you're like, Like when you're playing an acoustic guitar, it's kind of a physical, tactile experience too that you're feeling through your whole body. You're feeling it resonating against your diaphragm and stuff like that. And then you hear a recording, and you're like, that's not how it sounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or you're like, that's not how I sound.
Exactly.
Do I sound like that? I'm not going to talk again. And then the other thing would be to solve wood and forestry problems.
Sure.
That's a really big deal.
And that's kind of what you're doing in Africa.
Africa, Hawaii, a few other places too.
I know your big thing is using the ebony that has a grain to it, and it's not just pure black. So you're using more of the tree, basically.
Yeah, and we're getting more people to do it too.
That's awesome. I think that's a beautiful look too. I get wanting like a perfectly black fretboard or whatever, but I don't understand why it wasn't an option to use that beautiful wood.
Only
before.
because people didn't do it.
Yeah.
You go back to the pharaohs, and why would they use ebony? Because it's black. So they reject it. They have other wood that's got grain in it. So they, and next thing you know, there's 5,000 years of tradition to ebony's the black. Reject the stuff that's not black. And then it's not until you have to till someone questions it, like I did.
Sure.
Wait a minute. There's a lot of wood here. And we're down to the last country where we can get it,
So something that Steve and I talked about like in early episodes recently, I don't know how recently, honestly, but I know that you've kind of phased out your solid body line. What happened with that? Like
nobody wanted to buy them.
No one wanted to buy them.
I won't say nobody, but not enough to make it worthwhile.
Sure. What are your thoughts on that? What are your theories on that? Like, why didn't people like them? Or why weren't people interested in them?
People can have, you get some mind share in there because it's not a Gibson.
Sure.
And it's not a Fender. And we did fit somewhere, into a unique space. But guitar players are pretty traditional. We came out. Taylors weren't traditional. We won that battle, but I came out making a guitar when I was young, and nobody wanted that guitar. But there were a lot of things that lined up that allowed us to succeed, and you don't necessarily, you can't necessarily enjoy that more than once in a lifetime or a couple times. Time's probably not right, but for the most part, I think that the market was pretty full.
Sure.
It was interesting because we came out with T5 and it sold like crazy, and we thought that would do well too, but it doesn't bother me that much.
Really?
It's like, no, exactly.
It's just another thing you tried and just over.
It was more serious than just another thing we tried. We put a lot of work into it, but you got to be able to take your lumps.
Yeah, totally.
And then what are you going to do? Well, the reason that they didn't like it was blame it on a bunch of stuff.
Right.
I just blame it on people didn't want to buy them.
That about sums it up, I
Yeah,
guess.
they voted with their wallet. They're like, okay, this is really cool. I think I'll buy a Les Paul.
Right,
That's really cool. I'll buy a Paul Reed Smith.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and I think that's something that is a really interesting to see sometimes is just having that flexibility to look at it and say like, we tried this product, like we put a lot of work into it and it just didn't pan out. And you see that sometimes, and companies branch out and they try to do something different. Sometimes it works and sometimes it just doesn't work.
It's a very difficult thing to design a new electric guitar too, because it's already to the point where it's become standardized what an electric guitar is. It's a Strat, it's a Les Paul, it's a Telecaster.
Yeah, imagine
it's
being a
these-
violin maker.
Yeah, you get to make the
You're
same
not
shape
going to
every
design
day.
a new violin.
Yeah, so it's you guys jumped into it and completely did your own body styles. You did all your own hardware. You did all your own pickups. You did the whole thing. And I always kind of wondered if that was the thing that people had trouble kind of attaching to, just because so much of the electric guitar culture is looking at something like, oh, what can I upgrade on there to be my specifics? And then you have these guitars that are so much a finished product out of the box, and you've invented your own bridge, you've invented your own saddles, you've invented your own pickups, and it's just not a guitar that you look at and like, oh, I'm going to drop in my favorite bridge in there. It's a finished product. So I always wondered if that was something that made people not push over the edge to invest in them.
Definitely one of the things.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of things.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
I think the biggest thing is it said Taylor on it.
I don't think that's it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's.
I mean, Taylor
I think
guitars.
there's something to that.
Taylor guitars are known for being very well playing guitars.
Right, but it's here's the acoustic guitar company that, I mean, though I've never played one that I've liked, and they're all low end. Like nobody says, "Oh, you want an acoustic guitar? Go get a Fender."
Right.
Well, I will say this: people liked them. They just didn't buy them. I didn't
Exactly.
say people didn't like them. They actually did like them. But we would sell guitars to people who call like, "This is the guitar I've been waiting for," and then about 6 months later, they're like, I guess I just am a Les Paul guy.
Right.
There's a huge identity to guitars.
Uh-huh.
And for us, it was our demand for acoustics is huge,
Sure.
and we make more acoustic guitars than almost anybody even makes guitars.
Yeah.
And we're making 750 guitars every day.
Yeah.
And so we have our hands full, doing stuff here. It's just we have a counter on our intranet. There's we have this thing. Our employees sign up to it world around because we have people all over the world work for us. And you go on and we actually have a counter up there that clicks off the guitars we're making.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
And
just
1,500,000, 2.
Yeah, I was gonna
4,
say that's like 20, a little more than 25,000 guitars a year.
165,000 this year.
Oh, geez, my math is awful. A few thousand guitars.
Yeah.
Just a few.
It was crazy when we went through your warehouse during the tour, and it was like that scene from Indiana Jones.
There was
And
a
it's
lot of
just
guitars.
all guitars, floor to ceiling, just rows and rows and rows waiting to just be shipped out. Like not even one's being worked on, they're done and just waiting to
Like
go.
8 days worth of guitars, and it takes a giant warehouse.
That's
So
crazy. man.
we started making acoustics. Nobody wanted them.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cared about them. Nobody, why would I want to buy that? And we persevered, and we became a successful company that way. And a lot of not everything that you achieve, you're able to achieve just from your own grit and gristle and hard work. Sometimes there has to be things that you have to be in the right place at the right time often. And that might not necessarily be a good place. You might be in a bad place at the right time. For example, I talk about in my book, one of the greatest things that put Taylor on the map was that we started at the end of the best guitar cycle that there was, and at the beginning of the worst acoustic guitar market that we'd seen in 100 years. That's when we started our business.
Right.
And I think that's part of the reason why we did well. Because we didn't know the difference whether we were a stupid, unsuccessful company because we didn't know what we were doing or because the market was bad. kind of like El Nino, global warming. You decide.
Right.
But we have hurricanes coming up the Gulf.
Right, right.
I'm not sure which one it is. So we were not being successful in those days. Part of it, but what it did do is it brought big companies down to our size. Martin, Gibson, Guild, they were all making lots of guitars, and the next thing you know, Gibson and Guild weren't even in business making guitars, and Martin went down to less than a tenth of what they were making, so that when the market turned around, guess what? We were the size of Martin.
Yeah, totally.
And that happened through shrinkage.
Yeah.
On their part. The bad market didn't hurt us because we were already mostly dead.
Bob, could we refer to it as the shrinkage?
The shrinkage. Thank you.
Let's talk
Just
about
keep
the
it on
shrinkage.
track here, buddy.
So the thing is, we get to a point where we make these hybrid guitars, the T5s, which is a very successful guitar, make a lot of it. We work on pickups. We have some neat technology. It's worth it. We were quite excited about what we were doing there. But I would say it's hard to make something that's different and make something that's the same at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
They can't be both at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I think your electrics are really solid instruments, and they could be the sort of thing that, someone picks up in a pawn shop now, and then 20 years they're famous, and then everyone's got to have one sort of thing. And then,
Could totally happen.
Taylor will be reissuing them, and no one will be happy because they're not like the originals, and, it'll be this whole thing.
Yeah.
But, I think they're obviously a great playing guitar, obviously well designed enough. They're not weird like Ovation's shots at electrics or anything like that. Other acoustic manufacturers.
Don't you dare talk bad about the breadwinner.
I think they were pretty legit guitars. They weren't weird.
No, they're not weird at all.
They might have been too clean and shiny. Today's age, everyone's kind of all vintage minded, and even people that play Fenders, you're seeing them play all of the off. You're seeing more people drag guitars out of pawn shops and play, Mustangs or something. When I was in my 30s, nobody played that guitar ever. That would be like that's the only thing you can get. And now people show up with it all the time.
They pay big money for them too.
They pay big money for them.
Yeah,
you'd see an Explorer now and then, and now you've got to have one if you have guitars and you play it in front of people, and so. Our guitars was probably a little too clean and shiny. Probably should have had aftermarket pickups on it. Should have had all of those types of things. But if I'd have done all those things, I still think people wouldn't have bought them.
Sure.
That's my prediction. My prediction of the past. My prediction of the past.
A different past, a different storyline.
Yeah, I think that the market wasn't really ready for the dealers were. Boy, they wanted the guitars. They bought them, but then they didn't sell them.
Yeah, I remember going down to Guitar Trader and there being a bunch of them around, and I'd sit down and play them all. And that was when I was a poor college student, and I was like, I would look at them and be like, I could never afford one of these guitars.
Yeah, they were also expensive.
Yeah. But for the time, anyways, people are dropping all kinds of thousands of dollars on electric guitars right now from all kinds of builders, which is an interesting scene. But
and by the way, for people who are listening that are into guitar making, electric guitars are hard to make. They're not really easier than acoustic. So
why is that? Because I've done a bunch of parts guitars, and I can't draw a straight line. So I've done a bunch of weird stuff.
You can't draw a straight line,
but
don't you draw straight lines?
I can draw
great
curvy lines.
I'm all scribbly. I'm a graphic designer.
Hold on, let me interrupt for 1 second, Ryan.
Okay, interrupt me.
Doug Cower, you met Doug at the event.
Mm-hmm.
He jumped on, and he wanted to know if he was just jumping on Periscope here. I'm recording.
Am I periscoping?
We're getting periscoped right now. There are people watching you live, Bob.
It's like we're in a
I'm
submarine.
being
It's like a time warp because they're watching you live right now, but they're going to hear you in like a week.
Like 2 weeks.
So, 2 weeks.
Wow.
So Doug wanted to know if anything from the development of the electric series carried over into the acoustic series. Like you guys were working hard to develop something new in the electric series. Did any of those elements kind of carry, like, oh, we could implement this on the acoustics?
Not really. Not much. Really. I mean, we use the same basic guitar building tenets, we build guitars more precise and accurate than other people do. For example, you have adjustable bridge on a electric guitar, and so people think that they've got to adjust their bridge to get the intonation right. That's nonsense, we put our bridges in a jig and put the individual saddles where they went.
Right.
And then we put them on the guitar, and then the intonation was perfect. Just like we drop a saddle into a guitar, it's got intonation built into it. We don't adjust the height. We don't make it higher. We don't make it lower. Our acoustics just fit. And so we actually, it was almost more the other way around. In a way, we felt like, hey, electric players, now you can finally have an electric that plays as good as your acoustic.
Right.
Because people were used to having great intonation on Taylors and great necks and straight necks and good fretwork. And we brought a lot of that into electric guitars. I think people appreciate it a lot. But people are so predisposed to adjusting everything.
Yeah.
They're like, don't adjust it. We adjusted it. It's actually perfect. No, I want to just screw that screw, and then I want to take it to a tech to put it back.
Exactly.
Maybe the reason the Taylor electric line didn't take off was because electric guitars were just used to crappy guitars, and you built them too good.
Going back to the offset thing, which is like a huge thing now. Everyone wants a Mustang. Everyone wants a Jaguar or a Jazzmaster or something like that. And it's all being facilitated by the existence of mastery bridges now, which makes these guitars playable. Because before, like that, unless you're using the strings that Leo Fender intended on them, which is like the heavy flat wounds or whatever, to hold that jangly little bridge down, you're just going to have a horrible time with your Jaguar or your Mustang or something.
Some of us like having a horrible time with our guitars.
Yeah, I think some people think it should be a fight.
Right, they want to fight it, but it's like I'm a surf rock guy. I enjoy those sounds. I had a Jaguar. I just couldn't get into it. The feel was off to me. I've been too spoiled by modern playing guitars that feel a certain way. So I couldn't get into it, and I get the look of them. I understand why people like the look of these guitars. I have a tough time getting into like a Jazzmaster or definitely not a Mustang. I don't think I'll ever own a full Mustang just because the whole bridge and tremolo section is so wonky and so hard to dial in.
There's a guy on Offset Guitars on Facebook. You know Offset Guitars?
Yeah.
That I think... Nah, I'm not going to say anything, but
Great segment, Steve.
Welcome to the podcast. Steve's not going to say anything.
I've gotten in some.
Hey, what did you think of that? Part 1 of the 100th episode out there at Salvage Custom, sitting around talking to Daniel Tyack, Bob Taylor, and Steve, and me. And also a few other people jumped on the mic randomly, which is great. And you got to hear the big crowd back there. Everyone was having a real good time, hanging out, drinking the beers, eating burritos. It was just fun for everyone. We're going to have 2 more parts to this episode. We recorded almost 3 hours of material. So make sure you listen in the next 2 weeks or, whenever in the future, whenever you are. You could be listening to this 20 years from now. Who knows how this is going to go. So just make sure you check out the next 2 episodes when they come out. It's going to be a lot more fun. It's going to be really chaotic. We break from our format a little bit, but I think you guys are going to love it. All you super fans. And thanks to you guys for listening for pretty much 2 years now. 100 episodes is a pretty big deal. We never thought we would get here. Thanks so much to everyone who supported us. I want to thank Hutch & Sons Guitar Repair. Check them out at hutchandsonsrepair.com. A local repair shop here in San Diego. Sean's a really great guy. Repairs all of Daniel Tyack's guitars, so he must be good. I know he's local, but if you've got something really important and you need a skilled guy to look at it, it might be worth shipping it to him. So might as well look into it. Also want to thank Salvage Custom, obviously, for having us out and hosting us. I know they had to clean the whole shop up just so we could be in there, and they hosted the whole shebang. There's 15 or so people there hanging out until probably like 10 o'clock at night. So that's a big deal. It's really neat to have a space where we can go do that sort of thing and have people who are so enthusiastic about the show. I think that's all I've got to say. Oh, we've got a song here from Isaac Vining that's all about the show. I hope you enjoy it. It's going to play right after this next message from Steve about one of our other sponsors.
Episode was brought to us by Coast Sonic. Check out coastsonic.com. Actually, send that link to your wife with the pedals that you want for Christmas, because it's Christmas time, and let's be honest, you want pedals. Thanks to Coast Sonic for sponsoring us for this episode. Jody has been a huge supporter of us through our first 100 episodes. So just thanks again. Check out coastsonic.com.
Tune his dang guitar. We've got beer and beer. Man, we have come so far. We're a guild of hobby players. We stack 9 delays in layers. Everybody knows Kayak's the man. It's a freaking sword to open up a beer. We rock Craigslist like a boss, but never ever flip or loss unless it was a pedal that you'll keep. The world is always in danger, 'cause we're not afraid of danger. Let's dial Smith a glass to all the good times. Let's bask in all the stories in the Lord. Our Mondays are changed forever. So here's to 100 more. Might not be great at solos, but I've got 3 tremolos, if that's how you say it. It's a Cali Geography podcast. They always have sand in their shoes. Let's go kick out Brandon. Yeah, that one. Yeah, Little Walter or whatever.